Hello learners, in this session we will be learning about chroma keying. Chroma keying, as we are already aware that chroma means color, a specific color which is present inside a video sequence or a video footage which needs to be removed from where the background needs to be removed and the foreground needs to be sustained, which needs to be actually preserved. If I show you an image over here or the video over here, so this is the chroma footage where there is a character and behind that there is the chroma green screen. The chroma key can be either in green or blue, as these both colors are not present in the human body. Hence it is always shot in green, whether it is film, whether it is a TV series, or whether even it's news anchor who is reading the news for broadcasting purpose. So either green is used or blue is used. Blue is generally used for exteriors, as while the shot is shoot in exteriors, there might be chances that the leaves color is green, hence it would remove the color of that green also. Hence many a times while shooting of any movies in exterior, the usage of blue is used more, and for interiors majorly green is used. So as you can see, we have got this character who is talking on the phone and is very nicely lit up, because lighting also plays a very important part for understanding the shades of the character, the highlights, the midtones. This is a pretty lit up footage over here, and what we need to do is we need to remove this green screen over here. What I'll do is I'll just drag and drop this right up here. This opened a new composition with the dimensions of 1920 1080, as you guys can see over here. It's a pretty long footage of 17 seconds. What I'll do is I'll trim this to 10 seconds over here. I'll say right click, trim comp to work area. Yeah, this is how we actually trim this. Now what we'll do is I'll go to the option inside my effects and presets, which is keying. Inside keying you get multiple options like advanced spill suppressor, CC simple wire removal, color difference key, color range, difference matte, extract, inner out, cleaner, keylight 1.2, linear color key. Let me first show you which is the basic here, which is the linear color key. So I'll just drag and drop this right up here, and over here you get this option of view, which is the final output, and you get this eyedropper tool also. So what I'll do is I'll just select this eyedropper tool, which would allow me to select a color, and I'll just click here. So if you see this over here, it has removed the greens, but if I just turn on and off, if you see, it has also removed the areas which was part of our footage. As a keying artist or as a compositor, you need to ensure that the area which you are keying or the color which you are keying, the part of the footage or the part of the character is not being removed. As you can see, this area over here which is beneath the eyes, this is being removed of the character. So you need to ensure that these parts are not removed. Also, if I zoom in here, so if you see, the teeth path over here is being completely removed by the linear key. Even if you come here, so these highlights were also removed. One more way to see this is you can come down here. So this shows RGB. Just click here and go to alpha over here. If you see this white area, this is pretty much opaque, so that's completely fine. There is no issue in that. But if you see these areas which are in gray or dark gray, so these are basically semi-transparent areas. This needs to be worked on. If you see these areas, this needs to be worked on. We will also be learning on how to control these, as this is pretty interesting, and also it's very crucial and very significant to know that which area needs to be removed or which area has to be preserved. In this sequence over here, we need to preserve this entire character, and this semi-opaque will not do, it will not be approved by your supervisor or your client, whoever is watching this final output. This was the linear color key over here where we have just selected the color over here. Now we need to maintain or preserve get these details back so that we get a very nice matte. This black and white is known as matte, which is MATTE, which would have the 100% opacity area as well as the 100% transparent area. The area in black which you see is currently transparent and the area in white over here is opaque. As we have applied this, now we will be refining this also so that we get a very good output and we do not lose any of the details from the character over here. Let us see how we will be doing that. Now as we have this footage and we have already applied the linear color key, now what we'll do is we'll try some technique over here. First, let me turn on the alpha channel, and as you can see, this is the semi-transparent part and you are also able to see few holes in the matte over here. So this is not a refined matte, this is not a perfect matte. As a compositor, you need to ensure that your matte is pretty much. What I'll do is, as you can see, this is the matching softness which is on 10%. Slightly decrease this down a bit. Currently, if you see, it is on 3. And yes, I am now able to get the very hard white edges as well as the inside. So there is no semi-transparent area over here which was there earlier while the values were on 14. Let's you see this. So let me just take down to 3. And now if I show you the alpha channel over here, the RGB over here, we are getting this sort of output of the character. But again, if you see this, we are getting this green edges over here. We also need to get rid of that. So that also there is a technique. Even on the hair edges over here, you are able to see this green. So there should not be any green. So as a compositor, as a keying artist, you need to work very nicely on the edges as well as on the entire character. So even if you see this shine on her hair is been preserved very nicely. I'm pretty much satisfied by the inside. We just need to work on the edges, which is green currently. So there is again a way to do that. Area which is known as green, so that is technically in the green screen language it's known as spill. Inside keying you are able to see an option which is advanced spill suppressor. What it will do is it will remove the greens, which is the spill from the character, actually suppress green values on the edges. So just drag and drop this here. Yup, and the entire green is gone. So I'll just turn on and off. So if you can see this part, if you can see this part, it's completely gone. This is how our character now looks like. And again, if I show you the alpha, pretty hard edges, very nice. And even on the RGB, there are no green. So if I just turn on and off, the screen, if you can see, it has removed. This was the advanced spill suppressor, through which we were actually able to remove the greens over here, and now we have a pretty refined matte. So now you can insert any background over here. Just do a Ctrl Y, and maybe just for showing purpose I'll take this beneath. You get this. If you want, you can also change the color. Any color if you want, you can just put that in order to test it. I'll just delete this as it says low memory warning, as it is using majorly of my RAM. Now I'll just turn this off and I'll go to my project over here, as I have an image which is this. It looks like an office. So what we'll do is we'll try to blend the both of these. So right now if you see, you're getting this. If you want, you can also scale this up a bit somewhere over here. On the position, let me take this up over here, which is known as the framing. If you see, this is what output looks like, but I'm not satisfied by the foreground and the background, which is the blending. Now we'll be actually blending this background over here. First, what I'll do is I'm able to get the difference as character is pretty much saturated, is pretty bright, but my background is slightly looking dull. We'll go to the color options over here inside color correction, and then there is an option of brightness and contrast. I'll just place this over here, and I'll increase the brightness a bit and increase the contrast also. And then let me take maybe auto levels. This is also fine. And then I would like to add a slight orangish tint, so I have taken curves over here, and inside my red I'll increase this a bit, not so much. I would like to make this as orangish. The blues maybe. Now if you see, this is looking pretty blended, and it looks like that this character was already there and was talking on the phone. So now you can imagine how Chroma actually works. We learned about the spill suppressor, and we also learned about how you can work with the tolerance value in order to remove the greens, and then we also blended with the background. We'll also be looking towards another ways of removing the chroma.